Just waking up.
Oh, good morning. Good morning. You missed a weekend.
I did.
Yes. How much have you
Tried
been
to do it
caught
once.
up on?
Absolutely nothing.
All right. Long story short, Sean McQuillan and the Hounds used a
I
Jeep.
told
Ooh.
Peters that if you do not remain the undersheriff, I'm gonna be poaching you, and he is okay by that.
Okay, yeah, no, that makes sense. You might fire me before long.
I need someone like you, Rosner, to assist with touchy administrative shit.
Touchy administrative shit?
The shit that no one wants to do.
Ouch.
Well, and you've got a good investigative mind, which, you know, it's hard to get both of those things. There's kind of like, I want you to imagine 3 circles.
Yeah.
The first is not being a pussy, and
Valid.
whether it's law enforcement or whether it's criminals, doing what's right. The third circle is having a good sense of what it takes to investigate, right? People and run around with a damn magnifying glass all day doesn't mean shit unless it's producing, you know, one building block at a time until it's ready to kind of, you know, show the world. And then the third is well, just understanding how San Andreas is.
It's valid. I'll stop you before you go any further. I think right now the one thing that nobody wants to fucking do is lead the goddamn BCSO. So until that is an option that is no longer available to me, I will be pushing to make sure that I can do that. I mean, I'm having to tell people on a daily basis to stop calling me sheriff. It's undersheriff. But to briefly
I'm looking forward to that day. All right, so hit me.
Sean McQuillan and the Hounds, there's a GPS tracker remover on Opal Price, kidnapped her, and over an operation over 23 hours, a combined operation from the DOJ, SEMA, Marshals, BCSO, and LSPD. We eventually breached a house in Polito and did save Opal Price, but we do have this big concern about the fact that he had a GPS tracker remover, handcuffs, and, well, I mean, a bag's just a fucking bag.
The thing is that GPS remover likely stems to months old. Okay, so way back when, I want to say November, maybe December. There was a series of events surrounding the Faceless. Including but not limited to Brandon possibly flipping. Now, ultimately, what happened was that the Faceless provided the assets with GPS removing devices. And this isn't typically, you know, this isn't like easy to come by technology, right?
No.
It's not like, hey, who's to say this came from somewhere else? Eat my ass. Like, no. This is this equipment was given, we believe, to every asset member involved in my attempted kidnapping. We stopped them a couple times, got a hold of some, but there are probably some out in the wild. With the Hounds being close, you know, having people in the Faceless, I imagine that's where that equipment came from. And I don't think that equipment ever really like breaks down.
Okay, I mostly thought to mention it because literally the day before the operation that you led, Vale led, Seamus McCarthy's vehicle was seen repeatedly and his number plate was tagged. Seamus McCarthy's house was the house that Opal Price was held in.
Okay.
We will be raiding Seamus McCarthy today. That will be happening.
All right.
And then we'll probably, if we do not get all of Opal Price's stuff, be pushing the raid to Flop, then to Sean McQuillan, then to Sophie Sanders.
I would argue that you should raid all of them.
I would like to. The PC for some of them is a little touchy. We couldn't even get a search warrant for most of them.
What?
Well, yeah, like we managed to get Seamus because we had seen people entering his house. But like our PC for some of the other people, you can look at the. Actually, no, it's been edited now.
Yeah, I'll take a look.
But
Are we dealing with more like fucking Greta Thunberg DOJ readings?
I can understand the reason. I'm not happy about it, but I'm not enough to kick up a fuss. Like some of the PC was like
the warrants weren't really there. I mean, the articulation is that they have utilized equipment used to disable emergency services.
You go
from being able to blah blah. Oh wait, I see.
Yeah, it was like.
Are some of them not tied to the incident?
Some of them aren't tied to the incident. Some of them were like they had purchased clothes in Blaine County with Seamus McCarthy 7 minutes after she went missing, which would tie them to the incident, but not enough to allow us to kick down their fucking door. Which I can see the argument. But
is it because some of those? Is it because some of those people weren't like tied to the kidnapping?
Yeah, I mean we couldn't even 100%. Oh, you're probably gonna be put on a panel or something soon because the whole situation was fucked from the start. This fucking pissed me off, and it's gonna become a big thing once everybody is okay and this situation is dealt with. Montes wanted to meet with Sean McQuillan about the murder of Theodora Thatcher. Didn't have a relationship with him, so asked Opal. Opal said, okay, do not come and interfere unless I offer. Opal then goes to meet Sean McQuillan. Her GPS tracker disappears after 10 to 15 minutes. 30 minutes later, still nothing has been done. 30 minutes later, Montes gets a call from Opal's phone with what sounds like Sean McQuillan on the other side, asking how Opal is doing and whether she's missing, something along these lines, which then leads Montes to panic. She doesn't really do much, still hasn't communicated to the rest of PD, moves up to Polito to check if there's anything there, doesn't see anything, goes back to the original location where Opal was meeting Sean, finally checks it, realizes that she's missing, then calls up Dallas and says, hey, I really need to speak to you. He's like, is it urgent? And she said, no, it can wait a little bit. So he finishes processing someone. She calls a meeting with Key and Dallas.
Wait, what?
This is almost 2 hours. Opal has been missing for almost 2 fucking hours at this point. Which one she goes, yeah, Opal's missing, and they go, 78s. 70 fucking 8s. What the fuck do you mean she's missing?
I'm only laughing at the absurdity.
I woke up at 6 o'clock in the fucking morning because I couldn't sleep. I had to look at reports, and then I'm in a meeting for 6 more hours. I didn't go to bed till 11 o'clock in the morning, slept 3 hours.
Oh my God.
Immediately came back because we needed surveillance warrants, phone subpoenas. We needed to get search warrants set up. It was intense.
I'm confused. So Montes was investigating a death and she wanted to talk to, but why did Opal go in? I don't know.
Opal has a relationship, as in like a friendly relationship with Sean McQuillan, apparently. But Opal's out of ICU now.
That's not really. Opal has been like historically, like, has done foolish things with the hounds, including they've used her multiple times.
Oh, Pastor. Oh.
I mean, listen, between us, if you're investigating the hounds, you don't want Opal anywhere near it.
But yeah, there was systematic failings across the board. We're already got plans in motion. I've spoken to the Shift 2 captain about the plans for dealing with Montes. But this is like it is.
Is this
holy
why?
Fuck.
Is this what you meant when I was asking for an update for the legs thing?
Yeah, no. As soon as I heard about this, the detectives are removed. She's not to be on any cases for now. It's a huge misunderstanding of. Sorry, not misunderstanding. A huge categorical failure of being able to preserve life and properly investigate scenarios. So I'm removing her from all cases. I'm taking over the Jake Legs case. As far as I'm concerned, there wasn't enough. If there is, I don't have the knowledge. We had other things to deal with, so I push it off.
If you could, and I'm gonna just sidebar real quick, just so I don't forget.
Al, you guys okay?
Yeah, we're okay.
Okay, all right. Slow it down, please. I'm okay. Slow it down. Goddamn fucking Babylonians.
Okay, so right. I do think. Look, I'm going to be honest with you. I think you can at minimum do an ACR. I think. Look, at the end of the day, whatever y'all want to do, I'm going to support that. Right. Know that there is the ability for an ACR. I think it can be worth highlighting. You know. Some of these things, but at minimum, the board of directors should have a breakdown of, like, we should give them something, right? So they at least know what our findings were, if they want to have any internal policy changes. At the end of the day, do believe.
How was it going? I just got the phone call from prison to tell you, or 311 to hang up your phone. Otherwise, somebody's getting shot in 10 minutes. I was told.
All right. Someone's getting shot.
Somebody's trying to. No. Somebody's trying to call you from prison. Sounded like Flop. I cannot confirm.
All right, I'll make my way up to prison. All right.
Hey,
thank you, Barnabas.
No worries.
Sorry, Nat. Flop's trying to fucking shoot someone if I don't go to prison.
So just for context, I'm not saying to do these things, just for like something to mull over for future, right? Is that we have a couple tools. One is ACRs. The second, which is putting forward concerns, right, of any government entity. The second is an impeachment, which is like a call to action in a way. It's like an ACR, but with teeth. And then there's, of course, probable cause for charges.
Of course.
Now, I will say that I tend to agree that I think there are, how do I put this? I don't think that that there would have been enough beyond reasonable doubt surrounding this, because if I'm not mistaken, those door locks indicated that while the doors were left open, there was a incident where he unlocked it, thus rendering him getting knocked unconscious. I think there is the secondary issue that law enforcement failed as well, given that the patient had no law enforcement by him, which I think is fucking absurd. In fact, I'm going to go a bit further and say there is a possibility that sometimes people get in their feelings, right? They may be, oh no, what did they do to Nana Banana? That's bad, right? But at the same time, that may have been enough to be like, fuck this guy, we're just going to leave him there. Either way, I do think that a report should be generated for the board so they have all the information that we have. So if there's any internal policy changes they need to make, they can do so, but also be fully appraised of the situation. His legs, while we don't have PC, it doesn't take away from the fact that that entire situation was kind of sucked.
Yeah, there's a lot of suspicion about that scene, and it's reasonable to assume something negligent at very least has happened. Yeah, I'll get a report typed up as soon as I can. It might take a couple of days. But I'll get one written up and send it over to Cantor. Oh wait, who's the?
Derek.
Derek. Yeah, I'll get it sent to
Derek
Derek.
is hospital. Cantor. I mean, Cantor's been the one, or Derek's been the one handling it. I think it's probably best to send it to him, and then he can disseminate as he pleases.
Yeah, sounds good.
Easy.
You got any food on you, sir?
I'm gonna get to going.
I'm sorry, say that again?
Rosner, let me know if you need anything. Yeah.
Will do, man. All right. God bless. Thank you, sir.
You take care.
Bye bye now.
Bye.
You got any food on you, sir?